Hello and welcome to this Liverpool news roundup here on Anfield Agenda. My name is Conor. Arne Slot has just finished his press conference ahead of the Brentford game tomorrow, so we're going to take a look at some of the main talking points from that press conference, including Mo Salah's form, some quotes around Florian Wirtz after he got his first 2 assists the other night. We have some injury updates on Jeremy Frimpong, Ryan Gravenberch, Alexander Isak and Alisson Becker. We have a stat around how many long balls Liverpool have faced so far this season. A little bit on Milos Kerkez, a little bit on Curtis Jones, and we will reveal who Liverpool's Player of the Month was. And the answer won't surprise you, but I found it quite funny. So please do hit the subscribe button before we get into it, and hit the like button. You know the drill at this point. Hit all the buttons except the dislike button. So yeah, hit them buttons and let's jump straight into it. We'll start with the injury roundup. So Arne Slot said Jeremy Frimpong is not in a good place. I won't be playing tomorrow or next week. He did confirm it was a hamstring injury, which generally these things do tend to take 4, 6, 8 weeks. It depends on how the recovery goes, but we won't be seeing Frimpong on the pitch for Liverpool anytime soon. That is, of course, a blow. Conor Bradley did look very good the other night as well, which is a bonus at least. Like, you were not left too stranded on the right-hand side there, but obviously never good news to get an injury like that. So yeah, best wishes to Jeremy Frimpong on that. Let's hope he can make a speedy recovery and get back on the pitch, because he's such an exciting player, but we haven't really seen the best of him yet this season, and more injuries is not going to help that, so the quicker he can get back, the better. Arne then confirmed that Alexander Isak is a doubt for Saturday. He didn't sound too negative around that one. I think it was just, I'd say he probably won't start, like, due to a precaution more than it being an actual injury as such. Whether he'll get any minutes or not is another thing, but I'd be very surprised if he started, because Ekitike is in red hot form and Isak hasn't been, and if he has this little knock or a pull in the groin, whatever it is, there's no point risking him. So I think we won't see him start, will be my guess. But like I said, Arne didn't seem too negative about it, so hopefully he will be back for the next game. He said Ryan Gravenberch is a let's see how he is. Again, probably not a really bad injury. If he's 50-50, he probably will be left out against Brentford, but don't expect him to be on the sidelines for too long. I'd say he will be back fairly quick. He then confirmed as well that Alisson is nowhere near close to coming back, so probably another 5, 6, 7 weeks on that one. So that's all the injury news anyway. Bad news on Jeremy Frimpong, not too bad on Isak and Gravenberch, and again, Alisson will be out for the foreseeable future. Slot was then asked about the fact that Mohamed Salah hasn't really been in great form. He was obviously dropped the other night against Frankfurt, and he had this to say: I don't know if it's sharpness. In general, players miss chances. He's a human being. We're not used to him missing chances, let alone a few games in a row, but these things happen. The main thing is Mo has always scored his goals for our club. The last thing I worry about is Mo starting to score goals again, because that's what he does his whole life, and that's what I expect him to do again. Maybe his whole Liverpool career he played with Trent, so it could be that, but he's been in promising positions often enough to score goals, maybe with Trent even more. But in general, if you have quite a few changes in the summer, you have to find new connections. Mo is no exception to this. So yeah, like Arne said there, like, we know Mo Salah will come back. Like, he's too good a player not to get back to scoring form at some point. Maybe at the minute he does need to be left out. Ease him back in, maybe if he comes on as a bit of a super sub for the next few games, plays against tiring opposition, gets himself a few goals, gets that confidence back, and then he can start starting games again. So I think, like he said, I'm not worried about Mo Salah for the season. I think he will start banging in the goals again soon, but especially if we are playing that 4-4-2 system again and he is one of the two up front rather than out wide, he will find himself in good position again to score goals. So maybe that's the plan. Maybe get him back in, get him a few goals in that regard, like off the bench, and then he can start building up his confidence, get back to the player we know he is, and then he can start starting games again. So that would be my theory on it. That's what I would do. I'm obviously not the manager, but that's what I would do in that situation. And of course, Arne did bring up the fact that, like, he would have played with Trent behind him for the majority of his Liverpool career, and after, like, 5, 6, 7 seasons playing with a player so closely, you are going to build up a ridiculous connection. It's almost going to be telepathic, to where a player is going to be, you already know that if Trent has the ball, Salah's making a run. Trent knows Salah will make that run. He plays the ball, you know what I mean? It's like, they know exactly what each other are thinking. They know exactly where to position themselves to get the most out of each other. And that's going to be a big change for him now, especially with the new strikers up front as well. Trent's gone from behind him, and then Diogo Jota or Luis Diaz or anyone, Darwin Núñez even, would have been the player up in front of him. And so with Hugo Ekitike or Alexander Isak up front, again, it's new connection. You look inside then, it's Florian Wirtz, like, it's not someone he's used to playing with. So if you look at Mo Salah in that position now on the right, like, he is a bit, I don't know if isolated is the right word, but if you think the number 10, the striker and the right back are all different. Yes, Conor Bradley obviously was at the club last year, but didn't play as much as Trent. So again, it is just like building up these connections. Like, it's a big change. Obviously, the loss of Diogo Jota will be playing on Mo Salah's mind as well. Like, he was a dear friend of his, and I think there's a number of factors. But like I said, I probably would take him out of the team for a while, bring him back in as a sub, let him build up a bit more confidence again, and then find out a way to integrate him back into the starting 11 over time, because I have no doubts he will come back. He's too good a player not to come back from this. On the other side of the pitch then, Arne Slot was talking about Milos Kerkez, and he said, the reason why we brought him in is that he's bringing a lot of energy to the game, keeps going up and down, very well defending 1v1 situations against a winger. For me, he has been a bit unlucky. Cody Gakpo's biggest strength is coming inside, and we have shown him sometimes playing Milos would have been the better option. So that is interesting that the manager has kind of called that out. Like, I think most Liverpool fans, Craig definitely has highlighted this a number of times, that Cody Gakpo just always cuts in. He never seems to get to the byline or look for the overlapping runs. And we do actually have a stat to back that up. So this is from Eddie Gibbs, I believe works with Anfield Index, who said, against Man United, Kerkez passed to Gakpo 13 times, whereas Gakpo passed to Kerkez only once, ignoring his overlapping runs yet again. Is that tactical or is it ignorance? And from what Arne Slot here is saying, I think it probably is ignorance. So it probably is the fact that Gakpo cuts in, tries to put in a ball or take a shot, but never really looks for the overlapping run behind him. And that could be part of the reason that Milos is struggling, to be fair. It's not something I really considered before, the fact that if he's not being played in, he can't really make these runs. Or, like, you see the touch maps and stuff, but if the ball's not being played to him, he still could be in these positions, but not actually getting a touch up there. So we're not really seeing this in the stats. So I wonder, will we see the likes of Gakpo out on the left, like, pass it to Milos more going forward now? Like, maybe in this new system as well, maybe Milos is getting further up the pitch more often, and Gakpo is instructed, like, to look for him more, because, like I said, like, it was 13 balls played to Gakpo and only one reciprocated back to Kerkez. And, like, you would imagine a few of them should be, like, little 1-2s. Like, we've seen stats before with Trent and Salah. The number of balls that go back and forth between them was crazy in the last couple of seasons. So, again, building up connections is important, and Gakpo cutting in too much is obviously something that the manager has highlighted, and it'll be interesting to see, like, does that change now over time? Curtis Jones then next, one of the journalists did highlight the fact that he made 122 completed passes against Frankfurt, which is the most any Liverpool player has completed in the Champions League since the 03-04 season. That's a long time ago. That's what, 21, 22 years ago since that happened. So it does highlight the fact that Curtis Jones was really getting involved the other night, and you could see it. Like, he was fantastic the other night, I thought. Really doing well to link up play, and Arne Slot was speaking on that. He said, I'm not surprised he touched the ball a lot because I positioned him lower as we were missing Ryan. Curtis, since I have been here, his playing time went up, and there is a reason. I like how he has progressed, and I think I agree with that. Like, we really have seen the best of Curtis Jones under Arne Slot. I always backed him as a decent player under Jurgen Klopp. Like, he's come under a lot of criticism. I've always had a soft spot for him. I always thought he was a decent, good squad player. But he's really taken a step up now since Arne Slot came in. And I think if I recall correctly as well, even on the first pre-season tour under Arne Slot, Curtis Jones was already saying that, like, it was almost like a breath of fresh air, and he really thought that this manager suited him better. And we're starting to see that. Like, he's still a young lad, and he's just really getting better and better, and he's really staking a claim to be a mainstay in this team now, or at least for the next while anyway, because on form, he definitely does deserve to start, I think. So, yeah, good to see that Arne Slot was praising him. Good to see that he's breaking records, because I thought that performance the other night was fantastic as well. So yeah, good news on that one. Speaking on Florian Wirtz then, Florian obviously got 2 assists the other night against Frankfurt, and Arne Slot had this to say: I find it a bit funny, his second assist, we call that an assist, and the 1-1 goal involvement against Man United isn't one for him, which is more difficult to do than the 5-1 against Frankfurt. His general game was something, we've seen more of that already, but if you lose a game, the focus is on the negative things, but when you win a game 5-1 with 2 set pieces, people talk about your good attacks from open play. We generated the same amount of chances versus United, but the difference was we didn't concede from a set piece and scored from 2. And that's an important point as well. Like, it is nice to see us actually getting a few goals from set pieces, because obviously the more we can do that, the more, like, easy goals we can get, let's say. Like, you don't have to spend time trying to create a moment of magic to break down a low block. Like, if we can get into the habit of just lumping a corner in, Van Dijk or Kanate is there to head it in, like, that is obviously going to be a plus, and we haven't been doing that enough. We haven't been defending set pieces well enough either, so that's something we really need to work on. But yeah, it's good to see that we got a few goals from corners and set pieces, so if we can continue to do that, then happy days. But yeah, to go back to Arne Slot speaking about Wirtz, like, That second assist, like it was a little tap to Szoboszlai, who then banged it in from, what, 25, 30 yards out. So obviously it does count as an assist, but I fully understand what Arne's saying here. Like, he's basically saying just because he's got the assist now doesn't really change the fact that he was playing well and creating chances before anyway. And we do have some stats to back that up. So this is via Opta, who said Florian Wirtz leads all Premier League players in all competitions in 25-26 for chances created, which is 29, open play chances created, which is 26, and expected assists, which is 3. He is still top for chances created when making it per 90 among all players with 200 mins, which is 3.1 chances per 90 minutes. So, like we said, 2 assists the other night, but he has been creating chances every game. Like, it's not just to say, like, oh, he finally got 2 assists, like, oh, he's playing well all of a sudden. Like, he has been playing well. He's just been unlucky not to get assists before this. So I've absolutely no doubt, like, it's starting to click now for him. He is starting to look better, and I'm sure the 2 assists will help his confidence as well, of course, because he's getting the stats on the board. He's starting to get a bit more recognition now, and he can really kick on from here. Right, we are getting towards the end now. I know this video has dragged on a bit, but Arne Slot was speaking about how many long balls Liverpool have faced. So he said that Liverpool have faced 178 long balls in the first 7 games of the season, and he has spent lots of time on his days off figuring out how to tweak the system to play against this direct style. And I think, I don't have the stat here in front of me, but I think it was something like 57 or 58 of those were against Man United. So it is good to see. Obviously, he has highlighted that as an issue. It's good to see that he's trying to tweak the system to combat that, because our press isn't there just yet, but I think we are starting to see a little bit of an improvement as players get a bit more fit. As the new system's being implemented, we're kind of pushing players up more and kind of penning teams in a bit, but then one long ball over the top and you've bypassed that press entirely, and suddenly you have a 2-on-2. So again, we are looking a bit exposed at the back, and it's good to see that Arne has highlighted this at least. Whatever the solution is, I don't know, but I'm sure Arne Slot will find it, because I fully back the manager. It's good to see anyway, he has highlighted this issue. He is working on it, so let's hope he can find a solution in the coming days. Right, to end this video then, I wanted to touch on the fact that Federico Chiesa has won the Standard Chartered Player of the Month for September, which is, it's fully deserved, because, like, what a lad, Federico Chiesa, he's been fantastic whenever he's played. He should be starting more games, and it's not even a debate at this point. Like, he has just been our best player in September officially now. I think he deserves way more minutes. He should be starting games. I would start him against Brentford personally. I'd stick him up front alongside Ekitike if we are going with that 4-4-2. So just congratulations to Federico on that. He's had his turmoil at Liverpool. He hasn't got the chances he deserves, and he's still just a fantastic player. And like I said, just what a lad. I love him so much, and just congratulations to him on that one. Like, even just seeing the picture of him with the trophy for the Player of the Month, is just makes me very happy inside, because we all love Federico. That's all from me anyway. Thank you very much for watching this video. Craig will be back on this evening, and we do have our watch along for the Brentford game tomorrow evening. Craig will be starting from 6:45 PM, so make sure he joins for that one. And like I said, thanks very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button before you head out, hit the like button, and I'll see you very soon.